Hey, everybody, and thanks for joining us. I am excited that you're here, and I'm also excited for you to hear Jay Gardner's story. Wow, what a powerful story he has to share with us. And Jay, thank you for joining me.
Well, Janet, thank you for having me, and thank you for Carla, who was with Red Letter for even
Carla Jackson,
uh,
yes.
Carla Jackson with Red Letter,
Yeah.
and thank you for having me on an ever-changing world of faith, a faith of ever-changing world.
Yes, I tell you. We're in an ever-changing world, aren't we,
We
Jay?
are definitely need faith in this time we're in.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Well, let me introduce Jay. Jay is a veteran. He is the founder of tornpages.org. He is a businessman, a champion boxer, and soon to be published author. Wow. Jay, what has God given you to do in this season, and how is faith helping you do it?
Well, Janet, those are great two questions for sure. And the first one with what God has given me to do in my life is just like faith in an ever-changing world. Our life is like a book, and written are
Mm,
the good times and the hard times.
yeah,
But what about the times of where people endure cancer or loss of a loved one or addiction or loneliness or
yeah.
depression? We all have torn pages in our life.
Mm,
To have faith in an ever-changing world when it goes through that time, it is very difficult. And even now, as I'm speaking and somebody's listening, their faith is being challenged.
mm,
They are going through life's torn pages, and the very fabric of their soul is being torn.
mm.
Their faith is being challenged, and that's how it was in my life. My life was a all American kid growing up. I had some good times and some tough times, but was a veteran, served our country honorably. I was even called into the ministry. And you would think God was leading me in that direction, but all of a sudden, in the course of life, I went through a spiritual warfare that was just uh, a divorce happened, and in the midst of the ministry going into, I was then soon addictions, and I thought God had abandoned me.
Mm,
And I think
mm.
there's a lot of people in life sometimes, even in our faith,
Yes.
whether or not they're Christians or not even Christians, that
Yeah.
there's God has abandoned them, and
Mm,
they pray and pray and asking God to intervene, and it's
yeah.
silence. And
And it's hard, isn't it, Jay, when you don't see him
yes,
working,
yeah,
but it's
uh,
trusting God in the
yeah.
waiting, you know. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, in my waiting and my abandonment, where I thought God had abandoned me,
Mm,
I turned to drugs and addictions and alcohol,
oh,
and it unfortunately it came to an end. Even as a veteran, I tried to fight this battle, but it finally ended when the gavel slammed down.
mm,
It said, "I'm sentencing you to 20 years in prison," and that's where my story of torn pages begins.
yeah.
I served 20 years
Mm,
that losing my faith or walking away from God's grace or preference, and served 20 years in a prison cell in a Georgia
mm,
cell. So
yeah.
I know about life's torn pages.
Mm,
But the miracle thing about that is that you would think that my life was over,
yeah.
but God had never had abandoned me.
Mm,
Oh, I was, you know, I look at I was in the Navy, and I remember I was asking, I was so angry at God one time. I was like, man, you saw me drowning, God.
mm,
Why didn't you rescue me? And you heard me crying and
yeah.
begging you to save me. And the he didn't give me the answer, but what he shared with me opened up my eyes. And that when I was in the Navy in sea and rescue, and you see a drowning man that is screaming and
Mm,
hollering in the water, drowning. The question is, can you dive in and save him? And the question is, no, you can't.
right.
because he's trying to save himself with all his energy and all his faith and all his might and power. And it's not until he surrenders. And then God said, son, you were trying to save yourself so much, I couldn't help you until you surrendered.
Mm.
It's that surrender. God reached through those razor wire fences. And one day I saw a man, I'm not sure if this is recorded where people can see it or not, but I saw a man wearing a necklace in prison,
Uh-huh.
right?
Yeah.
Uh, and it had a cross on it. And in prison, there's no gifts and there's no colors in prison. There's nothing.
Yeah.
Uh, just slamming steel doors, razor wire fences, and attitude and inmates and guards every day.
Mm.
But I saw this beautiful necklace this guy was wearing, and I was like, man, how'd you get beads in here to make that? And he said, Jay, it's not beads, it's paper. I was like, paper? I couldn't believe this beautiful bracelet necklace
Yes.
that I see.
Yeah.
That I couldn't believe it. It was made out of paper, and
Oh,
I had to have it.
yeah.
And and so I bought it. And later that evening, uh, I was minding my own business, and God intervened. He knocked on my spirit, and he asked as I was looking at this necklace, this bracelet with a cross on it. I said,
Mm.
son, do you know what you have? And I knew God in a personal, intimate way. I mean, we all have that through the faith. And I said, yes, Father, it's about your grace and your love. And he said, yes, son, but it's more than that. And I said, well, it's about your forgiveness and your mercy, then, God, right? God said, yes, son, but it's more than that. And so I was looking at the cross, and I said, well, it has to be about the cross, what you did, and which I try to have faith in and believe in.
Right. Right.
And Janet, even then, he said, yes, son, but it's even more than that. And I was like, then what do I have, God? And I was sitting in that cell, and he said, son, it's made out of torn and ripped pieces of paper. And I said, yes, so. He said, son, it's a reflection of the pages that have been torn and ripped in your life.
Wow.
That's all he had to say, Janet.
Powerful.
Yeah, I was broken.
Yeah.
I lost my marriage, my two beautiful kids that were growing up without a father,
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
broken mom's heart, everything precious, everything torn in my life. And I sat there just in tears and brokenness. Even after 20 something years later, it's just as real today as it was yesterday. But God reached in and he said, wait a second, son. I can take the torn pages of your life and create something beautiful. And at that moment, it gave me a hope and a peace and a strength that I could prevail. And it opened up my heart in a new way to experience God's grace and love that
Wow.
refreshed me, that I knew I would prevail in this journey. And I knew right then and there that God had given me a gift
Wow. Yeah.
that touched my life. And it was, I didn't think it would come out of something made out of paper. But you know, the thing is that if man can make something beautiful out of torn pieces of paper, just think what God can do with the torn pages that
Yes.
ripped in our lives.
Absolutely.
And
Ab-
that's what God began to do. And I knew right then and there that I had a gift that I
Well,
needed to share with the world. And
well, now, Jay, did you start making torn the bracelets that you do
yeah,
now in prison?
yes, I sure did. And that I knew I had a story in it with each. Besides the gift by itself is nothing, but it's all about the story.
Yeah.
And with each gift, uh, God gave me the, and says it says there's a gift that comes with each card, with each bracelet, and it says
Yeah.
it's so simple. It's a gift for you, and it says it's made out of torn ripped pieces of paper. It's a reflection of the pages that have been torn ripped in your life. But
Wow.
God take the torn page and create something beautiful. And so what happened is I started making these and I started sending them out and giving them to my mom. And then I was asking other people to share with them and send them out
Yeah.
to families. And I was even making a difference in people's lives in prison. Guys, even in prison, said, man, Jay, can I send one to my daughter? I
Yeah.
haven't heard from her in years. These are men that are,
Oh my goodness.
and so
Wow.
guys would get them and they'd send them to their family. And when words and letters and nothing else was open up the door,
Yeah.
uh, this bracelet and these gifts would open up the hearts of people, because here was these daughters and children and moms and grandmothers that were being touched by life's 20
Oh,
pages. And it just
wow.
opened up the door for them to minister to them. And not only was God ministering to the men and even the guards inside the prisons, I was sending them out, and people's lives are being touched. And I was
Oh,
getting letters. Here I am inside of a Georgia prison cell.
yeah.
I'm getting letters from people that were in Bible studies or going through cancer or going
Mm,
through addictions. And somebody said that
mm.
Torn Pages was given a gift to them, and it turned their life around and gave them a hope,
Wow.
peace, and strength.
Oh
And
my
yeah,
goodness.
for 17
Well,
years, I mean, I did 20 altogether, but for 17 years, I was making bracelets and sending them out and touching
wow.
people's lives. And I
Hmm.
knew that it was just ordained. God's
Yeah.
fingerprints are all over Torn
Yep.
Pages, because it was a gift that I was given. I didn't come
Yep.
up. It was I was minding
It's
my own business.
purpose for you.
Yeah, and,
Yes, to share.
and now that I'm
Oh,
a free man, I know that knocking on doors and
yep.
and trying to touch people's lives with a unique gift that opens up the door. And
Well,
so,
here's a little bit closer picture here.
oh yes,
And these bracelets are for men and women.
yes, hmm,
Yeah. So, and they don't look like pieces of paper. It's amazing. It's
it is.
amazing.
It is amazing.
Yeah. And see, yep,
Oh
it
yeah,
doesn't matter what age you are, uh,
no,
or anything. These it's the torn pages. Wow. It
wow,
just
it is.
it's the story, like you say, it's the story.
It
Let's see,
is.
I think I have a few more. Yeah, there's some there.
Oh yeah,
And yeah, 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 yeah. So
that's my
now,
beautiful wife.
your wife, okay. Yeah. And I think that has something about shackles.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
called Tackle the Shackles. That's an organization we partnered up with, and
oh,
that
good.
because part of the solution that God gave me, besides touching people's lives, we use Torn Pages as a fundraiser. As if
Uh-huh.
you're on a mission, sort of like I guess what do you call the Girl Scout cookies? I guess you could say. Except we use the bracelets as a way to raise funds for our mission, and one of the missions that is so beautiful about Torn Pages is that we partner up with so many organizations
Uh-huh.
that are reaching out. I mean,
Yes.
faith in an ever-changing world. You're reaching out to people
Yeah.
going through ever-changing parts of the world that need faith and courage.
Ah,
Here we have a gift that just opens up the door of conversation. It's been shared that it's the easiest way to share your faith.
and even the cross is made out of
Yeah.
pa
Yes.
pieces of
Even
paper. Wow.
paper. Yes. And so it's beautiful. It's a it's one of the most rarity gifts that I've never really seen of anything in the ministry. I mean, here's some kids, FCA, like
Jewelry on a
it,
mission. I
it,
love that.
it touches kids, grandkids, moms, dads, grandmas,
Yes.
uh,
Yes.
people that are in the lowest parts of the world and to the highest realms of the world, CEOs. It's the only everybody. Unfortunately, Janet, unfortunately, we know more about our torn pages than we know about anything in life.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's just a fact.
And a lot of people hide their torn pages too.
Yes, they do, and it's so easy, and it's just a way. I mean, I can just say, "Hey, have you seen these?" And people are like, "No, what?" I said, "It's paper," and they're like, "Paper? Wow!" And I say, "But listen to this," and I just tell them it's a reflection of the pages torn in their life.
What
I
an
said,
impact.
it
What an
is. It's such
impact
an
you
impact.
have.
We, just like WWJD. I don't know if you remember those bracelets that came out years
Mhm. Mhm.
ago. There was such a, and people still wear them today. We
Yeah.
are praying that
Yeah.
as we move forward, that torn pages will be a gift where people will wear it or put it on
Keep
a rearview mirror,
where.
put it on a rearview mirror. They can
Yep.
be riding on some hope, peace, and
Yeah.
strength. or definitely wear it and share it. So
Now,
it's
Jay, where can people they can purchase these bracelets, right? And
yes.
through tornpages.org?
So yeah, we have a website, and we're trying to get that up and run. We have a website, but we're trying to get into e-commerce and stuff that become just people like you that are sharing the gift and the message. And so, uh, it's just a beautiful way for people to. We want to, we want to. We even have a thing where we wear one and share one. That's the biggest.
Oh,
We want people
yeah.
not only to wear one for themselves for their torn pages of hope, peace, and strength, but to give one away to someone
Yes,
that they know that's going
yes,
through life's torn pages, need
absolutely.
to experience God's hope, peace, and strength, that they may know God's grace and love in a real and intimate and personal way.
Yes.
Yeah.
So please, everybody, go to
Yeah.
tornpages.org and check out more about his torn pages and also
Yeah.
the bracelets and Jay and his story. Oh my goodness. I
Yeah.
love it. I love
Yeah.
it. I love it. Oh, thank you, Jay, so much for uh, being with me today and
Yeah.
sharing your powerful, impactful story, and that Torn Pages will just continue to be blessed, and that you will continue to make that impact on lives and changing hearts and lives.
Well, thank
Yeah.
you so much. It's as I move forward, and and part of the second question is, how has your faith helped? And it's not so much my faith; it's the faith that God saw nobody like me and said, "I'm giving you a gift to touch other people's lives." And so I lean into His faith, and then I
Yeah.
I have brothers and sisters like you, Janet, that come along, or Carla, and I have a beautiful wife. I've just been fairly married over a year now for the first time,
Oh,
something years.
congratulations.
And my wife's faith is beyond measure, and
That's
because it gets weary and
yeah.
tiresome
That's
times in our
awesome.
journey,
Oh
and
my goodness.
we're here not to journey alone. We're here to journey with the brother of our Christ and
Right.
Savior, each other. That's where.
Yes, absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
this is like a building block of faith, just coming on your side, inviting
Oh,
into the weariness of sometimes of what we're called into, and because
that's right.
we
That's
all
right.
have wavering faith sometimes in this ever changing world. And
That's
today, I
true.
I just thank you to let me come on board and share
Oh,
my
absolutely.
and share some hope, peace, and strength for those that are going through life's torn page.
Mm,
Thank you, Janet. So
absolutely. And thank you again, Jay. Thank you all for watching.
true,
And remember, have faith in this ever changing world and look up, friends, where our help comes from.
man.
Bye. God bless.
God bless.